Dolls that look like me continues to be the theme. We celebrate who felt called to answer. Meet Patty Jo, a very rare doll, but what a history. Patty Jo was conceived by Jackie Orms, America's earliest black female cartoonist. She created the Torchy Brown comic strip that ran in Pittsburgh Courier from 1937 to 1938. Then again in 1945 with the Patty Jo and Ginger cartoon that ran for 11 years. Orms worked with the Terry Lee Doll Company in 1947 to produce a doll based on her cartoon character Patty Jo. Terry Lee Doll Company operated from 1946 to 1962. Being a cartoonist that created paper dolls with changing outfits, Patty Jo also had a wide variety of costumes in her wardrobe. Little girls black and white love Patty Jo. However, in December 1949, Orms did not renew her contract with the Terry Lee Company, and production ended. Patty Jo dolls are now highly sought collector's items. We jump ahead to the 1960s, a volatile period in American race relations history. The Watts riots in Los Angeles, California, birthed an awareness of racial pride, of taking back the narrative of who they were. Out of this zeal, Shindana Toys were birthed, a division of Operation Bootstrap Incorporated. History noted the company as the first major doll company to mass-produce ethnically correct dolls. A goal of the company was to raise Black consciousness and improve self-image. In a 1970s Los Angeles Associated Press article, company president Lewis Smith said, quote, "We believe that only by learning to love oneself can one learn to love others. Shindana believes that by marketing Black dolls and games, both Black and white children can learn to relate to at an early age. The company can foster the spirit of what Shindana is all about, love," end quote. In an attempt to rebuild the community, provide job training and jobs for community residents, Lewis Smith and Robert Hall created the company with a $1,000 loan from a Black businessman. The Chase Manhattan Bank, the Mattel Toy Company, Sears Roebuck and Company, and Equitable Life Assurance also helped with finance. From 1968 through 1983, Shindana Toys operated. Their motto was, "Dolls Made by a Dream." Shindana, which means competitor in Swahili, trained and employed doll makers and became the nation's greatest manufacturer of Black dolls and games. The first doll created by Shindana was Baby Nancy. Many later dolls featured ethnically correct names of Swahili origin. Baby Nancy was the first American doll to feature natural hair and Afrocentric features. By Thanksgiving, it was the best-selling Black doll in Los Angeles and was being sold across the country by Christmas, showing that there was demand for Black dolls. The design of the doll was of note due to the work of sculptor Jim Totley, who created an ethnically representative mold, fulfilling Lewis Smith's wish that the doll not simply be a white model painted black. Baby Nancy was sold for around $5 to $6 at Sears, Montgomery Ward, JCPenney, Woolworth, and W.T. Grant. The doll seemed to have been an instant hit and sold exceedingly well. The doll was inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame in 2020. They made Tamu in 1971 as the black version of the popular Chatty Cathy doll of the 1960s. Tamu was featured in the Sears Roebuck, J.C. Penney, and Montgomery Ward's Christmas catalogs, and available in most stores wherever toys were sold. She was programmed to articulate 11 phrases when the talking ring was pulled. My name is Tamu. Cool it, baby. Do you like my dress? Hold me tight. I'm sleepy. Can you dig it? Let's play house. I love you. Tamu means sweet. I'm hungry. I'm proud, like you. Little Friends Collection magnified the company's diversity focus in creating a collection of Caucasian, Asian, and Hispanic boy and girl dolls. They were about 12 inches tall, all soft vinyl, designed to drink and wet, and with ethnically correct features. The Career Girl Wanda doll contained in each box a little pamphlet explaining the doll's particular profession, photos of real black women in those professions, and their comments about the nature of their jobs to give suggestions about what the child might do to learn more about the job. Some of Wanda's careers included nurse, skydiver, race car driver, tennis player, and singer. Have you heard of the Sara Lee doll? Me either, until I read this astonishing doll story. Sara Lee, a white girl born in Georgia in 1916, became in 1951 a dreamer, creating a beautiful black quality doll with true-to-life black features. According to the book Florida Pathfinders, Sara Lee witnessed two little black girls outside the post office playing with white dolls. She wondered why they didn't have dolls in their likeness. Therefore, in 1949, she launched a campaign to create an anthropologically correct black doll. Where to begin? She initially asked around on her one-woman investigation. She met with her friend, author Zora Neale Hurston, and several prominent community leaders in Florida. But she did not stop there. Her story takes us to the highest level, to former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt through her speech coach, Maxita von Hess. She introduced Sarah to Sheila Burlingame, a sculptor, to assist in the development of Sara Lee, the Negro doll. But first, getting it right. Creech believed that an authentic doll must accurately reflect the beauty of black children. Therefore, camera in hand and a how-to book on portrait photography, Sarah Creech started taking pictures of black children, infants, up to 10 years old. She took pictures of her friends' children and of migrant workers' children at the labor camps. She went to Belle Glade General Hospital and received permission from parents of newborns to take their children's picture. Creech took hundreds of pictures and sent them to Burlingame. Additionally, she took detailed head measurements of children to be correct. Her instructions to Burlingame was to, quote, capture in these children's heads the sweetness, the simplicity, and the natural dignity of the finest type of our colored children. Creech showed the doll to former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, who took an interest in the project and wrote in a letter of support, quote, I like them, particularly because they can be made and sold on an equal basis with white dolls. There is nothing to be ashamed of. They are attractive and reproduced well with careful study of the anthropological background of the race. I think they are a lesson in equality for little children, and we will find that many a child will cherish a charming black doll as easily as it will a charming white doll, end quote. With the help of Black leaders, including Ralph Bunche, Mary McLeod Bethune, and the presidents of Howard University and Morehouse College, Creech convinced the Ideal Doll Company to manufacture the dolls. She asked for guidance from leaders of the white community, too, including John Golding, the movie mogul. Productions were delayed. Mrs. Roosevelt helped out a second time, hosting a tea in New York City for African American leaders and Ideal executives when the firm delayed production on the doll in 1951. News of the First Lady's reception and doll's availability appeared in Time, Newsweek, Life, Ebony, and Independent Woman, in addition to city and regional newspapers. At last, the doll debuted to much media fanfare. Celebrities were seen with dolls. Sara Lee dolls were a hit, selling for $5.99 to $6.99. Ideal Sara Lee Negro doll, 1951 to 1952, was touted as an ambassador of goodwill. Unfortunately, the Sara Lee doll never sold in the quantities that Creech, her supporters, or Ideal had hoped, in part because the quality was not ideal. The vinyl used to make the doll hardened, lost its initial color, and seeped its dyes into the doll's clothing. Ideal canceled plans to make other black dolls with a range of lighter and darker complexions, reflecting a similar range in the black population that might have broadened the doll's appeal. The toy world waited until 1968 before releasing another mass-marketed black doll, Barbie's friend, Christy. I end the story with the words of Zora Neale Hurston. She wrote, "Please allow me to say how pleased I am that you let me see pictures of the Negro dolls that you plan to put on the market. The thing that pleased me most was that you, a white girl, should have seen into our hearts so clearly and sought to meet our longing for understanding of us as we really are, and not as some would have, that you have not insulted us by a grotesque caricature of black children, but conceived something of real Negro beauty."